Hey there, it's great to chat with fellow cloud enthusiasts. Today, I want to share something close to my heart, how to architect infrastructure operations in Azure, and trust me, it's as thrilling as it sounds. You ready to dive in? Awesome. Let's set the scene. Imagine Azure as a massive city where digital resources buzz and interact. Each building, road, and power line represents essential components like resource groups, virtual networks, storage accounts, and so on. As IT professionals, our job is to ensure that this digital city not only exists but thrives efficient, secure, and always on the go. Azure helps us create a robust environment where we strategically organize and manage our digital operations. I've had the opportunity to work on various projects, from small startups to massive global organizations, where each one brought unique challenges and demands. Regardless, the principle of effective infrastructure architecture remains constant. It's about aligning this digital domain with the real-world dynamics of an organization. Now, picture an infrastructure blueprint of an Azure city, a masterful mix of physical resources and cloud services. This infrastructure, when properly designed, not only meets the user experience demands but does so with high availability, security, and cost efficiency. And here's where Azure shines. Its tools for resource grouping, network segmentation, and automation provide a level playing field for all scales of projects, which, by the way, is one of my major contributions to the field. The initial step in our Azure city building excursion is resource grouping, which is essentially about creating resource groups akin to neighborhoods in our city. Here, everything needed for a specific set of services within this neighborhood lives, interacts, and functions together. Think of grouping like creating self-contained business units within our digital city that are easier to manage, deploy, and maintain. Next, we'll venture into networking. In our Azure city, we are focusing on crafting a virtual network with firewalls and networks as our streets and buildings. They must allow movement like data packets, while ensuring that the digital traffic is secure and only the right data traffic has access. Then, there's data storage, represented by Azure's storage accounts within our city. These accounts are like warehouse and data centers where we store sensitive and critical company data. We need to implement strategies to manage data effectively, ensuring it's secure and easily accessible for authorized users, yet stored safely, much like a city that never sleeps. And let's talk cloud services. Here, we are not just deploying an app, we are orchestrating a digital ecosystem. The services available in Azure, such as serverless solutions and managed databases, help minimize the infrastructure management overhead and boost resource pooling, almost like creating a thriving marketplace within our digital city where businesses can flourish effortlessly. Of course, this Azure city's operations require robust processes and workflows to address performance or issue management. Implementing Azure automation tools and solutions helps us automate routine tasks, akin to having efficient waste management and public services in our city, ensuring everything runs smoothly for everyone, from the top brass to the occasional coffee runner. Scalability is another essential pillar in our Azure architecture. It's about designing an infrastructure capable of expanding or contracting based on the city's load, ensuring that the digital city never encounters traffic jams or load drops during peak times. Managing and scaling Azure services and resources like this brings forth the flexibility that keeps a business agile and responsive to changing needs. As we explore our Azure city's operations further, we come across performance monitoring. It's crucial to track the city's heartbeat, from the resource groups to Azure automation services. By continuously monitoring performance using Azure Monitor and Analytics, we ensure that our digital city remains an efficient and reliable workplace for billions of data transactions daily. Security and compliance are non-negotiable. Whether it's data governance in our warehouse or securing our virtual streets, we must ensure that our Azure city aligns with the company and regional policies like the City Hall's strict policies on public safety and zoning in a traditional city. Now, every well-constructed city should have a master plan to deal with any contingency situations. It's no different in Azure, where we develop and implement disaster recovery strategies and backup plans. These resilience measures give the digital city the capacity to weather any storm, be it data breaches or service outages, and bounce back faster. Let's not forget the human touch in our digital ecosystem. Employee training and awareness programs within the Azure city ensure everyone understands their roles and responsibilities, much like educating our citizens on how the city works and how they can contribute to its prosperity and security. After all this talk about Azure, it's clear that crafting efficient and scalable infrastructure operations in Azure is akin to building a metropolis, a well-thought-out, intricate, yet accessible digital environment that serves as a home for a business's digital assets, making it agile enough for today's market and tomorrow's unknowns. For an in-depth exploration and strategic insights into architecting infrastructure operations in Azure, I'd like you to check out Neeraj's blog at neeraj.qzz.io. It's a treasure trove of knowledge. And don't go wandering alone. Subscribe to TechLab to keep the wisdom flowing in, connecting IT professionals globally through a community where we exchange ideas, share experiences, and elevate our Azure architect expertise. So that's the scoop on architecting infrastructure operations in Azure. I hope you found our journey enlightening and inspiring. Remember, as we sculpt the digital ecosystem in Azure, it's not just about technology, it's about creating harmony that supports and enhances everyday work life. Until next time, keep innovating and keeping Azure cities up and running. Translate the technical details of architecting infrastructure operations in Azure into a narrative where Azure is an actual kingdom from a fantasy novel. Additional constraints: utilize archaic language and phrases fitting a medieval fantasy setting. Introduce non-technical characters, such as the sorcerer of server management and the bard of business value. Weave in the metaphor of Azure as a kingdom that is constantly at war with the shadow of instability. Include an ancient prophecy that portends the unification of the realms of DevOps, Agile and Azure as foretold by the seer of scalability. Embed a clandestine rebellion among the code conjurers planning to usurp the monarchy of Microsoft Teams. Portray Azure automation as the ghostly group sees, the unseen yet essential caretakers after sunset. Describe Azure Monitor as the watchful eyes, the guild of sages that watches over the kingdom. Present disaster recovery strategies as the Phoenix Project, tales of legendary entities that resurrect from ashes. Represent the human touch as the guild of guiders, where all knights and common folk are taught the arts of Azure. End with an invitation to the reader to visit the archive of Neeraj the Benevolent, where they can learn further secrets of the Azure Kingdom, and to join the Tech Lodge, a place where the community gathers to plan and foresee the next era in the realm, without using modern world equivalents like blog or specific terminologies like Azure subscription.